Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Can I tip it up a little? Okay, got it. Come on, you can come as close as you like. Get in the shade if the sun's bad for your eyes. Come right on up. Tell her. Hey, I'm good. All right, welcome everyone. We are excited for today as the kickoff to a much longer 10th anniversary celebration. And I'm going to tell you something about that in just a minute. I saw a couple of folks who are not already in my remarks that I want to introduce to you. I'm aware that we have Alan, I'm going to say it wrong, Phelan from Congressman Hank Johnson's office, along with Sarah Pinkava. Thank y'all for representing and being on hand. And I just saw Allison Gevertz from our school board. Thank you for being here as well. Yep. There are many others we're going to recognize over the course of the day today. You may see some of them among you, and we're going to get to them as we get to them. But I'm Frank Alman. It's been my honor to serve as Tucker's first and only mayor for almost 10 years now. Thank you. So actually 10 years ago this week, in the next couple of days, was the public referendum that passed with 74% of the vote and led to the incorporation of Tucker as a city. It would be right to say it changed, I can say it for myself for sure, it changed the course of history for many of us. It has absolutely benefited everyone who lives in Tucker. And I can say that, especially as I look out at all of y'all, we've been privileged, been honored, been blessed to be part of something much, much bigger than ourselves. And that's what we're here to celebrate and remember today. So 10 years ago, we approved that referendum. We're here to celebrate that, and especially the fact that it was a community, it was the whole of the community who made that effort. We were together with a few of us earlier and just talking, every name we mentioned led to another name. And oh yeah, what about, do you remember when that happened and that person did that? Very exciting, and we appreciate you all being here celebrating with us. So just a couple of words about the rationale for the city, because we look back a lot and check ourselves against what we promised and against what our intentions were and against what the community said it wanted from its local government. So two things come to mind. One is what the term we use is placemaking. It's a little bit of you don't use that term much otherwise, but Tucker was a well-known place for 123 years in 2016. We'd been on the map, we had a railroad depot, we had a post office. We were well known by that, but the continuation of Tucker as a distinct, definable place was under threat. The idea that Tucker might be sort of just disappeared by some other developments. And so we're going to recognize a lot of friends who made those commitments and made those things happen. But the thing that I remember about it is that Tucker was not going to be bullied out of existence. And I see that's exactly right. And we had some highly motivated people to make sure that didn't happen. But the cityhood effort was a lot more than just a reaction to sort of an existential threat. We already had a long, rich history of self-determination, self-reliance. Our community already had a strong stable of community organizations, right? We had Tucker Civic Associations, Tucker Business Association, Rotarians and Optimists and Lions. We had strong PTOs. We had friends of every park in the city of Tucker. We had churches that formed the backbone of our community, and we had a range of nonprofits who were serving those among us who had more need temporarily or in the long term. So we were doing a lot of those things, and that was a part of what we wanted to preserve and define. And so the rhetorical questions that were answered by cityhood were, who cares more about Tucker than we do, right? Who's going to take better care of this place? And why should a group from other parts of the county take care of our zoning and our parks and our roads and those kinds of things when we knew we could make better decisions for those things here right at home? And so that was sort of the basis, and that's what we look back to regularly to say, are we in our lane? Are we doing the things we promised? Are we sticking to it as we go along? So with all that history, there's a lot of history. There was one of the meetings that mattered along the way. Many of you were there. Many of you will remember over at Tucker Middle School, there was a meeting called, and the people of a proposed city of Lakeside came to present at that meeting and to tell us how great it was going to be, that there would be this new city of Lakeside, and its corner, the border of it, would be right over there across the street from Tucker High School. Literally the corner adjacent to Tucker High School. Well, that was a siren call to a lot of people, many people, and many people answered that call over the next 3 years. And so one of the first of those, and one who took the lead in organizing many of them, was Michelle Pincava. And I've asked her to come. Yep, come on, Michelle. I've asked her to come and help acknowledge some of those early leaders and people who contributed time and money, and sometimes blood and sweat and tears. So,
Thank you. Am I next to you or taking that?
I think that one works.
Hi, everybody.
Is that on?
Can you hear me?
Gotta get right up on it.
I have to start by saying I'm so happy to be here and to be in the space where I'm looking out at you. And I plan to cry through this whole thing. There's a box of tissues there, so if you'll forgive me, I've asked Frank to walk over and pinch me really hard on the elbow if I can't get it back together. So please don't be mad at him if he finds the need to do that. It's a very emotional time. I think Frank nailed it. This is such an important event because for us, we always, when we were feeling a little bit down, knew we were going to come back to the community when it was hard, and all of you were going to lift us back up and redirect us and give us the energy we needed and show up at the fundraisers and be at any little meeting we called and volunteer again and again and raise your hand for 5 committees, if not 10 committees, and it always re-energized us, thank you, each time. So I'm so grateful, and I appreciate the opportunity to say that. So with that, I'm going to just call out a few people that really, and I hate to miss anybody, and I'm sure that I will, but these are the people that just time and time again raised their hand, served on a committee, and just did tons of work in the background. And then we're going to try to collect everybody else also. So if you guys remember Honey Vandercreek, first mayor of Tucker, actually. Sorry. The unofficial mayor of Tucker. Matthew Lee, still with us at CID right here. Sonia Shubsky. I mean, come on, right? Dee Dee Musser, whose art and graphics still drive the city today. Brian Anderson, who a lot of you may not know, was a wonderful volunteer at the beginning, and he literally spent hours and hours and hours writing our charter for us and helping us navigate the legal side of it. So thank you to Brian Anderson.
Later became our city attorney.
Yeah, and then he became our city attorney for a while, yes. Ann Rosenthal, who I didn't see today, she was, yeah, she was really involved in Tucker Together and Tucker 2014, great advocate down at the Capitol. Charlton Allen, who I saw here somewhere, Charlton helped us with all the legal stuff and as far as setting up the Tucker Together, Tucker 2014, and making sure we were collecting donations correctly. This guy named Frank Allman showed up sometimes. We have Jennifer Wintersheet, 1,000 committee, Jennifer Wintersheet, and Catherine Atterbury right behind her. And Catherine was so monumentally helpful. And then the two of them together, if you remember, they set up the great program with Honey on Main Street for Santa Claus to come, and we were in the freezing rain, which I'll mention later. So thank you for that. Terry Cole Fairchild. There she is. That's a communications queen, kept us all in line, proofread everything, made sure we were staying in the Tucker way. With Ann Lerner, who was also modifying all the content that maybe we were going to put out differently. So thank you, Ann and Terry, for our communications team. Another person you guys might not know is Louise Georges. Does anybody here know Louise? Is this amazing artist who lives in Tucker, who donated so many beautiful original watercolors for us to raise money, and she auctioned them off to raise money for our cause, and has been involved the whole time. So she was amazing. Lost my spot. Jim Spencer, one of the earliest folks to start really knocking on doors and hosting events in people's homes. Jim Spencer. We got other people involved as well. Jeff Humphreys is a UGA economist, and he stepped in and helped us with our feasibility study down at down at Georgia State. So he was instrumental because we didn't know what we were looking at. He helped us. And then along with him on that committee, we had Trey Scott, who is somewhere here. Trey is a numbers guy. He saved us because, again, if it hadn't been for him and then Jeff down there, I don't know what we would have done. So thank you, Trey. And he stayed along and did other things as well, but that was the meat and potatoes of that. Seth Burrow, who I don't see, was part of the original Tucker 2014 group. Oh my gosh, he was our checks and balances, man. He was our emotional calm. So thank you to Seth. Damian Presley, I don't see if she's here. She was our businesswoman in the background that we could call and talk about economics and feasibility of the city going forward. And granularly, I know I'm getting the hook in a minute. Berkeley Boone, where's Berkeley? Berkeley served on the hardest committee ever because Berkeley was challenged with negotiating with La Vista Hills in a moderated setting. So, way to go, Berkeley. Not an easy task, thank you. Francis Vogel, who I don't see, was part of Tucker 2015 very early on, helped a ton with getting the word out. Kathy Wiegand, is she here? She was one of the, hey Kathy, she was one of Jim Spencer is the one who got us at her house super early on. She did one of the first events, and it was great because that was the event that, that's the event that someone that was running the Lakeside event came, and we sort of had a little competitive sneak break. So that was fun, and thank you for that opportunity. Well, I'll tell anybody who wants to know on the side. And then Frank Luton, who led a lot of those first meetings for us at Tucker Together. If you remember Frank? Neil Stubblefield, seriously. Neil Stubblefield literally served on any and every committee that came up and still does. He's amazing. Rebecca Coblins, who I don't think is here, raised her hand for multiple committees. Thomas Walker not only served on committees, but he went down to the Capitol a ton and advocated on behalf of the city, which was tough work, and I really appreciate that. Some others that I don't see here that are vitally important, Andrea Reed, really important at the beginning, getting neighborhoods, knocking on doors, getting signs out, along with Melissa Anderson-Straight, Mario Chandler, and Trenesia Martin. So I don't see them here, but I think, yeah, if you know them, please tell them we said thank you. And like I said at the beginning, that's a tough thing because there's so many more people. So what I want to try to do, will you hold that for 1 second? Thank you. Is just say, it wouldn't have been a reality without every single person. So I'd like to ask for you just to raise your hand or applaud for these things. If you're here and you served on any of the committees, large or small, ad hoc, ongoing, for Tucker Together, Tucker 2014, or Tucker 2015. Any of you? Nobody? Raise your hand. Clap. Any of you? Come on, all those people are just thank you. I'm thanking you personally. Thank you. If you're a friend or a neighbor that helped carpool kids and Russell for many of those on committees during those commitments, if that's you, yeah, thank you. If you came to any of those Tucker Together meetings, if you came and learned about cityhood in spite of all the stuff that was swirling around, thank you. If you supported efforts, and I want to hear hands on this one, to fund that necessary feasibility study, which kicked it all off. Anybody in this space do that? Yeah, thank you so much. And then if you joined us on Main Street in the freezing cold, like I said, for Santa Claus to deliver that feasibility study, it was amazing. I can't believe you did it. Thank you so much. That was great. And I would say, if, by the way, your name is Sonia Shubsky, and you stepped up to lead Tucker 2014 when it was hard because we were already tired, and she stepped up and said, I'll do it. And I want to say to her, thank you. Thank you so much. If you went to the Capitol, we had so many people that went on one-offs and advocated, and I want to say thank you. If you hosted a Tucker 2014 or 2015 neighborhood meeting to help inform your neighbors, thank you. All of these things, thank you. Sorry, I'm almost done. If you participated in fundraisers, I see so many of you that came to our dine-arounds. I think Frank and Pam Sapp came to every single Tucker fundraiser. They probably win the award that we had. Thank you so much. If you put a sign in your yard, and then you put another sign in your yard, and you did it the next year again, thank you so much. And if you were one of the hundreds of people, and we got people that will going to say this is true, Mr. Mitchell, they called and emailed your state legislators and held up the Tucker way by being polite, and courteous and telling them what you wanted. We heard loud and clear that it was impactful and that everyone was so wonderful on the phone. It made a difference. Thank you. And last but not least, and most actually importantly, if you were one of the thousands of people that showed up on November 3rd, 2015 and voted yes for the city of Tucker, all of you, thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
As you can understand, today's about just acknowledging and thanking and recognizing so many people and the effort that went into this. Because when we were envisioning Tucker, we talked about we're not building a city for 10 years. We're building a city that's going to be here 100 years from now, and we wanted to have that in mind. And so part of the reason for today is we're recording some history here. We want some of these names in the record. We want people to remember that it hadn't always just been, and that there were individual people who made big sacrifices to be a part of it. So part of the process of becoming a city is for the legislature to pass a bill that calls for the referendum that we're here celebrating today. That bill is the proposed charter for the city, and then when it gets through the legislature, then the people in that area get to vote on it. I want to call out that in our case, this all began with Michelle Henson, who was a state representative at that time. She was not able to be here today, send her regards, but she was the first thing that happened when she actually ran into Michelle at a restaurant and said, hey, there's a cityhood effort that's got a map that looks a lot like Tucker. And Michelle and some others went from there to begin to do something about it. So we owe Michelle Henson a great debt. Along the way and over the next 2 years, we needed and received lots of help from lots of legislators. And let me say, I really want to make the point, it was not a bipartisan effort. It was really a nonpartisan effort. We knew, and the legislators knew, and they did a very fair job, a very admirable job of understanding that this wasn't about partisan politics. This was about local government and whether it was a wise thing to create a city of Tucker. And so some other folks that we want to call out, some surprising ones from across the state whose help we couldn't have done without. A guy named Tom McCall, who was the chairman of the Agriculture Committee. Didn't have anything to do with Tucker or cityhood matters or any of that, but he was a very powerful guy. The chairman of the Ag Committee is a big deal in this state. And it just happens that he was a friend of one of our very own Tuckerites here from growing up years, and he became an advocate for us and said apparently a lot of quietly strong things to some of his peers in the legislature. Likewise, we had a gentleman named John Meadows, who was the chairman at the time of the Rules Committee. Again, a guy who didn't have any reason to love us or Tucker or anything, although it turned out he did. He was the chairman of the Rules Committee. He had been the mayor of Calhoun, Georgia for 16 years, and he was very familiar and very empathetic to the value of local government. And the chairman of the Rules Committee may be the most powerful member of the House of Representatives. It turned out that before all that, John told us, he spent many happy summers in Tucker playing with his friends and his grandparents and getting along. And without those two and some others I'm going to mention, we would have failed in our efforts many, many times. There were a lot of points along the way where we should have failed, to tell you the truth. Closer to home, and I haven't seen him, I think he's going to be here, Steve Henson, our Senator Steve. There he is right there. Steve Henson, at the time, was a veteran member of the Senate. He was serving as the minority leader in the Senate at the time. Again, right person, right place, understood our message, heard from you and understood your message, and was just instrumental in what we got through. So thank you, Steve. One other legislator we want to call out is Representative Billy Mitchell. And he's here. I'm going to ask Billy to make his way up here, and while he does, I'm going to say a couple things about him. Billy still represents the largest part of Tucker of any of our representatives in the State House, and I want to tell you that during this cityhood advocacy, he faced some hard attacks, very difficult attacks and a lot of personal attacks, but he carried our bill. That means he's the legislator who shepherded that bill over the course of 3 different legislative sessions. And one day, I'm going to get to tell you the full story of the day that we were in the Rules Committee. Our bill was in the Rules Committee, and we were hoping against hope that we got through that day. I was inside the committee room and Billy was there waiting in line, waiting to get our bill heard. Michelle was meanwhile outside with a different state representative, who Brian knows from up in Dunwoody, and that state representative was berating Billy Mitchell to Michelle Pencava, saying that guy is never going to show up. He's never going to get it done. You can't count on Billy for anything. Michelle was texting me, and I was in the committee room watching Billy get it done. So I will not forget. Well, that's right. It's even better than all that. But Billy, we just want to give Billy a minute to say a word about what do you remember most from that time, and what do you think of your work 10 years later?
Well, first of all, please be seated. You honor me with this rousing standing ovation here. And I must say, Frank, that probably was the second best introduction of me in quite some time. The best introduction actually happened a few weeks ago. I was to speak somewhere, and the person who was to introduce me did not show up, so I had to introduce myself. And you should have heard all the great things I had to say. But truly, this is a great and a remarkable time for this community. I will tell you, one of the drawbacks of creating a new city had very little to do with the city, the proposed city of Tucker, or the community, but we had created some other cities that, quite frankly, haven't turned out as well. And so there was a lot of pushback at the time of creating new cities. These are the days before the Lorraine Cochran Johnsons, I might add. so there was a lot of pushback. But I will tell you this, you have a roadmap of good government. You got involved, you got engaged, you contacted your legislators, you made the point of why this was so necessary, the economic development, the communities taking care of themselves. You did all the right things. I wish every piece of legislation or policy that we deliberate upon was done in the manner in which you've done. Because you certainly came forward, you participated. There are so many bills that we have that are not done. And I have to give certainly one of my mentors, Steve Henson, a round of applause. Steve, I see you brought your daughter with you. Glad to see you bring your daughter to these kinds of events. Certainly he championed this in the Senate. We had some very interesting, as was said, some conversations, but I will tell you this. Upon saying that we need to incorporate the city of Tucker, you know what the number one question I received? And it was, aren't they already a city? And so we did not have to convince many of the need for it. The only thing that I'm going to ask now, I should get a key to the city here. I don't know what's going on in this. It should be a key to the city. And one other request, I went to a anniversary of another city, another part of the state, and they revealed at that time, and it actually was their 100th anniversary, and they revealed at that time a capsule that they had planted when they were first incorporated, and they revealed it, and people were just amazed at the bill, what they had to go through, and some of the things that were popular at the time that they created the city. So I'd implore you to do that. These kids, years from now, will be amazed that they went through that.
My grandkids.
Yes. Thank you so very much. Good to be here.
Thank you, Representative Mitchell.
One other thing. I used to think Michelle Pencava was the power broker in her house, but it's really her daughter, Sarah Pencava. Every time I go to Washington, I get to greet Sarah Pencava.
There you go. All right, enough talking for the moment. We're going to show you a very brief video that captures just a sliver of some of what's happened in Tucker, dating back to the time that we became incorporated. So you can turn your attention to that awesome big screen right over there. hope y'all enjoyed that and appreciate all that's going into that as much as I do. We're on a timetable because there's a very important football game that's going to show up on that screen in a little while. But we have some other introductions and notes to make. So joining me right now on the stage are myself plus 4 of our original members of council. These were the first people who were elected to serve you in the city of Tucker. Yep. And everything that's happened since had something to do with all of them. It's great to see you guys here and to be part of this and to remember what we did and what we went through. On the screen over here are 3 who couldn't be with us today. Honey Vandercreek was on our original council, had to be out of town today. Bill Rosenfeld, we're going to mention again in a minute, unhappily passed away while he was serving in office with us. And Pat Soltis on the right-hand side is the only member of our council who is not on the original council and is not on the current council. And we didn't want to leave her out. She did important work for us midway through these 10 years. There's way too much to talk about. I hope you saw some of the projects that we've done over there. I want you to know you can stand right here and look around. There are sidewalks, there are paved roads, there are businesses, none of which were here 10 years ago, and none of which would be here but for the work of our great staff, we're also going to mention, and these folks who got us started as elected officials. So thank you guys very much. Yeah.
Tell us when we walk off, right?
Yeah. John McHenry is going to come and tell us briefly about some upcoming events you need to know about and will want to participate in.
Yeah, so today is just the first part of 3 events. So I know you're all going to want to stay for the Georgia-Florida game. Go Dogs! Go Dogs! And then at 7:30, we're going to have a concert from Atlanta's own Michelle Malone, award-winning songstress. So please stay for that. That's starting at 7:30. So it's impossible to celebrate everyone today, although we're trying here, and all the accomplishments that we've achieved. But what we're going to do over the next 12 months, and then have a final blowout in November of 26, is celebrate all the activities and events and accomplishments that have been part of Tucker. So please look out for that. And then also, please do continue to visit and patronize our downtown businesses. And if you get all of these 10 really cool stickers, you're a Tucker superstar. And that's money right there, right? So please do that. And then lastly, if everyone's just really quiet for 1 second, just a little quiet here, you can hear them finishing the Tuckertown Green right now. That's right, it's happening. It's that perfect. It's on schedule and it's under budget and it's beautiful. And I look forward to seeing all of you there on Friday, November 14th from 4 to 7 for more music, fun, and activities. Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, here comes another important group I want to be sure you get to see and know. So joining me here and now is all 7 members of our current city council, all serving you over these last 2 and 4 years. And so just want to make sure as we sort of turn to the future, we've talked a lot about the past and we want to remember, we want to recount those stories, but you also need to know part of our life cycle, and Billy Mitchell advised against it, but part of our life cycle is we have term limits, not only on the mayor, but on city council members. And so in our short span so far, we've already lost all of our original members of council to term limits, but we've elected these 6 fine folks to carry on, and we'll continue to do that into the future. And we have built and are committed to running the city, as Representative Mitchell said, in the right way. And as we do that, we'll raise up others to run for office and serve us in that way. So thanks to all of y'all. Stay here. One other person I want to recognize and thank for joining us today is the Chief Executive Officer of DeKalb County, Lorraine Cochran Johnson. While she comes, I'm gonna say 2 things about her. First of all, I don't know if you noticed in the video, there was a big kind of a claw hammer machine tearing down a building. That building used to stand right here, right where you are. It was a blighted, horrible, abandoned DeKalb County library. And there was a day when I stood with Nancy Jester and Lorraine Cochran Johnson as commissioners in that building right over there. We had a meeting, and I walked them out in the parking lot, and I pointed across here, and I said, y'all, you need to give us that piece of property because we're going to do something fantastic with it. And they made it happen. Lorraine Cochran Johnson, as a commissioner, made that happen. Yep. Thank you. And I'm going to give her just a minute to say hello to you as well, but I just want to say Lorraine represents the kind of cooperation that we need to succeed as a city between governments. We're not an island. We're not divorced from DeKalb County any more than we're divorced from the state of Georgia or the United States. We live and work together and depend on each other. Georgia Department of Transportation, Atlanta Regional Commission, all have to work together, but we are so thrilled with the work that Madam CEO has begun in these first few months, and I wanted to give her a chance to say hello to you. Please.
Well, I think this one works just fine. Let me say to you, Frank, when you took us across the street, we looked over here at that building. My first thought was, if he wants it, let's give it to him as quickly as we can. So once I got back, I heard it had been going on for a few years, and for those of you who are out there, if you don't know me, I move rather quickly. The only thing standing between you having the building and us keeping it was an appraisal. So I voluntarily said, well, I'm more than happy to cover the cost. Let's get this building conferred. And I do want to acknowledge Nancy Jester because, you know, there's been, yes, it's really important, you know, today I'm excited because, you know, it's been 10 years and I want everyone that's out there today who can hear my voice to know that I care about all of DeKalb. I am honored to have 12 incredible cities that have character and wonderful people. And you don't have to advocate to me to do what's right. And Tucker has such wonderful folks. Michelle stood here at the brink of tears. I look out there, I see Matthew with the CID, and the list just goes on and on. And to all of you that are here today, those that carry the water to make it happen, now I'm here to be a thorn in your side because when I'm done in DeKalb County, nobody's going to want a city because I am going to master service delivery. I'm a woman with a goal and I understand the issues. So I know that we're a little off target. I won't say any more. I also want to acknowledge our Super District Commissioner who now holds my seat, Dr. Ladina Bolton, who came out today. I also want to acknowledge our District 4 Commissioner, Shakira Johnson. And we just want to say that as a governing authority for DeKalb County, we stand with you. We are proud to represent you. And I know you have Tucker, but you have us as well. Thank you all for supporting us. And congratulations on 10 years of good governance.
All right, our public servants, new and old and present and former, are going to head down because we're reaching toward the end here. They're going to help serve some special treats. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna wrap us up here pretty shortly. And thank you, CEO, for mentioning your commissioners. I saw while I was down there a minute ago, Imani Barnes, Representative Imani Barnes, joined us somewhere during the. Yep. Thank you for being here. And maybe the best surprise I had all day, when we became a city, the CEO of DeKalb County was an interim. DeKalb County was in the midst of some trouble, and there was a guy who got the job of CEO, never asked for it. I don't know whether he would say he wanted it now that it's done, but Lee May is here. He was the CEO when we became a city, and he was such a huge support, and we're very grateful for your part in our history. All right. Y'all getting it together over there? All right. I want to say two other things, and we are rapidly approaching the end. First, we are having a toast in just a couple of minutes with mock margaritas. Mock, because it just didn't seem wise for the city to fund free alcohol at a public event with children present. And margaritas, because the night of the referendum, many of us who had been working on that advocacy ended up at Las Colinas for no particular reason except that they had a little back room and they welcomed us. And we drank margaritas and watched the returns come in. I'm sorry? Oh, did I miss it? All right. In any event, we have the back room at Las Colinas from now until they close tonight, and we invite you guys to come join us there. We're going to have a toast with mock margaritas, but you're welcome to join us there in a little while. I think I missed an important part. Do we have somebody to put that slide up? We want to acknowledge, we've mentioned all these folks. Along the way, as happens over the course of time, we lose people, not just to moving out, but to passing on from us here. And these are some folks who are real important to us. You see their names there. Gene Davis was a big help in the earliest days of our advocacy for a city. Jennifer Davis was actually our first city clerk, and she was much more than that. She also was the treasurer and 3 or 4 other hats that she wore. Ann Lewis, Ann Lewis was a brilliant lawyer, worked in government for a long time, knew a lot of people, knew a lot about how things were supposed to work, lived in Tucker. And when we started this effort, we've said it about a dozen people, but she was indispensable. She moved us along and she did things we couldn't have done for ourselves. And then she served as the city clerk at our first meeting, which I think you saw a picture of us at a table. There's I can't quite see them all here, but you see John Meadows there. I think, who am I missing? Yeah, I'm saving Bill. Oh, and Mike Williams, another stalwart supporter in the beginning, a guy that, just sort of joined up, but it turned out he had a lot of background in planning and zoning, and he became our first planning commission chair and passed away not long after that. And of course, in the center of the bottom there is our friend Bill Rosenfeld, an original member of our council, just a joy to be around, a smart guy, a guy who cared, very practical. We lost Bill, 5 years ago now, while he was serving with us. And so we just wanted to remember these folks who had such an impact, and over time, we've missed them and wish we had them here. We thank some of their family for being here today, and just wanted to make that memory for you guys. All right. Finally, one small point of personal privilege, if you don't mind. When we got everything underway, I don't think any of us ever considered that the first mayor might be going out at the same time that we were celebrating the 10th anniversary. I'm still in office for a little bit longer, but you might know there's an election on Tuesday to elect a successor. And I know people will be rightly more interested in the future than the past. But as we think about all these people and the effort that's gone into creating and establishing this great hometown that we all love, there's one other group who's got to be recognized. Every one of us who does a job like this or volunteers on the committees that we've been talking about all day, Michelle mentioned some. Every one of us has a spouse or other family members or neighbors or friends who help us do the things that we do. Somebody's got to either make dinner or keep dinner warm or skip dinner or whatever the case is. They got to get the kids to school and to tennis and to all the things that have to be done. They put up with all of these priorities that are not their priorities, but they support us so that we can do what we do. And so I want to recognize them. They've contributed to Tucker's success every bit as much as the people who knocked on the doors and gave the money and attended the strategy meetings. And together we've been privileged, as I said at the beginning, to participate in something much, much bigger than ourselves. And we're grateful. So we're grateful for them. I'm going to ask my family to come and join me. We're going to have a toast. I hope you'll find a friend or get close to a family member who came here with you today. We're going to raise a toast. Let me tell you, in 2013, it was Gay and me and our 3 daughters. In 2014, 2 of them, our oldest Anna and our second Emma, got married. They began to call all this effort Tucker 24/7. Since that time, the 6 grandchildren you see here all have been born during my time in office. Our youngest daughter, Grace, kindly has postponed getting married until after I'm out of office so that we can give our full attention to her and her fiance, Tucker. Tucker Lewis, right down here. Yeah, it took us a while to find a guy named Tucker, but it's worked out, so we thank y'all. Do we have, you got, oh, thank you. There we go. Give me 1 second. All right, join me in a toast. Does everybody have a mocktail to join us with? To our families and friends who have built this community where we can live, work, play, and pray for our whole lives, and for the generations to come who will share that joy. Thank you. Cheers. All right, we're done. Come and have some cake, get a drink.
We gotta do something.
Are we ready for that right now?
Are y'all ready?
Oh, here we go. All right, we're right into the next event.
Call the dogs. Okay, y'all can do it. Ready?
All right. The University of Georgia is about to show up on that television, and with apologies to any Florida Gators who are in the house. Now, I'll tell you that all these folks are connected to the University of Georgia, with one exception, who we're working on, Tucker. Where'd he go? Oh, look, he is not going to call the dogs with us. All right.
He's got it.
All right, here we go. Y'all know how to do it, right? Back in the back. Go! Dogs! Sick 'em! Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you.